Hi, good evening. I'm back for another video talking about life with cancer. For those who never met me before, my name's Woody. September the 21st, 2021, I got diagnosed with advanced prostate cancer that metastasized into my back, lymph nodes, various parts of my body, some in my chest and my head. Those were the sites where cancer was present. So yeah, I was in a pretty poorly way, to say the least. And I started writing a blog. When I was in hospital being treated, I started writing a blog because I passing a bit of the time away, but also I was putting down all my fears, and putting it into words made it really helpful. Because this is a major trauma in life, a major shock. And then at one stage I decided to publish the blog. The blog is found at livingwithmycancer.org. While I was writing it, I was finding it really helpful. It was helping me, and then I started to do one or two videos. I think I've done quite a few now, and the videos are about how I deal with it, and things that I understand. And I before I had cancer, I'm an ambulance driving instructor, but before I was that, I used to teach people how to calm themselves down when they had anxiety, so I used to help people. And that was because I used to have anxiety, so I learned a lot about it, and eventually taught myself how to not have anxiety. And now I find myself using all those learnings and those things that I understand for my own purpose now, and sharing them. I like to share them with other people that have got cancer, and I'm astonished that something like 400 people are following this vlog, and quite proud of that, and hopefully helping in some way. If I can help someone, it's worthwhile. Just spending 10 minutes a week talking to people that I never meet, but they're in front of me and listening, and it's a strange thing how, and they're all over the world. So whatever you're doing, I hope you're doing well. And I wanted to talk about the experience this week, about a really up and down experience, where lots of things have happened this week that have put lots of pressure on me. And I want to talk about how I've come to understand that. I think my last video I mentioned that my central heating in the house had stopped working, and we had no hot water either. That was fixed on Saturday, so we had 10 days without heating, and about 4 days without any hot water, which is difficult. It's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world, but it's difficult, and it's coping with the cancer. And in that, with the hormone therapy I have a lot of sweats, and being really cold when you've just had the sweats is the worst. It's horrible, but it's gone now. On top of that, and I'm not having a whinge here, I'm just explaining these things so I can explain how I've coped with them. Every month I need an injection to will basically keep me living. It's a hormone injection that seems to be working. And the last 3 months it's been a real stress trying to get this injection sorted out. I have to basically order the injection from my GP. I get a prescription then sent to a local supermarket where when they let me know when it's there, I go and pick it up. And I have to make sure it's there in time to coincide with when I got the booking in with the nurse, and I have to do all that as well. I have to book the nurse, and sometimes these two things just don't go in harmony. And the last couple of months they've gone wrong. Nothing I've done wrong, but people on the outside have not done what they could have done. And sometimes that's quite hard to cope with, because you're trying to deal with this cancer. I'm dealing with the heating, dealing with the hot water, dealing with these other things, and then I can't even get the injection sorted. So it all came to a real emotional roller coaster, and it came to a head when I was at the doctor's. I was with the nurse, and they were doing my blood tests, and I was kind of feeling very weepy and very emotional, as I often do, especially with this hormone therapy, and I just broke down. I'm not ashamed to say, I was crying like I was crying like a baby, letting it all out, and she gave me a hug, and it was just one of them. I needed it. And then I started to think about this scenario, about what had happened and what I was doing to make it worse. And something that I know from teaching people is that the way I think about anything in life is what I get. It's my experience. I also started to feel really pained last week, a lot of pain in my right knee, the top of my leg and my back. It was really, really hurting more than it has before. And since I'd had radiation therapy. And my PSA result had gone up a couple of notches over the last 2 months. So all of that was combining to make me really anxious and scared. And then the one thing I have that's really a strength that we all have, but I understand it probably better, is that I can see what I'm talking about in my mind. I have this, I've learned that when I'm quiet I can listen to my thoughts, and we have thoughts and feelings. They link together, they dance around together. For every thought I think there's a feeling, and with every feeling there's a thought. So these two things are tangoing around in our mind and in the body. The thought is the stuff that's not real, and the feeling is what it produces. That's what I think happens. It's like the chicken or egg scenario, I suppose. Anyway, I noticed that my thinking last week was really negative because of all this stuff that was going on. And so I tried to look at what I was talking about in my mind, what I was telling myself, what this internal conversation was going on, and it was all rather negative, as you can probably imagine. And I'm convinced that the negative state of my mind made the pain seem worse. And what happens is that when you're on this kind of downward spiral of negativity, the feelings you're producing become very, very real. And your thoughts become alive, they become real. Even though they're not real, you perceive them as being real. Your body feels how you think. And that's what I was doing. I was feeling this down, this negativity, the pain. My thoughts were or taking me down a path I didn't want to go on. It was all about a bad future, you know, cancer thoughts I used to call them. So one of the things I thought, the point of this video is, as in a lot of my videos, is that if you can observe your thinking, if you can understand what you're telling yourself and you recognize what you're saying in your mind, you stand a really, really good chance of changing it. And when you change what you're thinking about, you change what you're feeling and you change your experience. And when you change your experience, it's a much more positive environment, and you strengthen your immune system, because when you're in a negative state of mind, your immune system is also going negative, and your immune system is one of your most powerful allies. We want these allies, and we want these things like our immune system to be as strong as possible. When we're feeling down and we're feeling weak in the mind and low, the immune system is breaking down and is feeling the same. And the power of our thinking, I think, is underestimated. I think there's so much to it that we can do for ourselves. If we can just observe what we're thinking about. It's like I'm sitting in my car right now. It's like I imagine I'm behind myself and observing me and observing my thinking, my way I'm acting. What would I be seeing? I'd be seeing somebody that was going a bit out of control, that was panicking, that was trying to control something that was uncontrollable. And what advice would that person give me? The person observing me, myself. They would just tap me on the shoulder and say, look, Woody, you need to stop thinking the way you're thinking. You need to calm down. Because your thoughts are not real. You're just making them, and you perceive them to be real. I hope that makes sense. I really do. I hope it makes sense. You've got that power within you to change your thinking, create a better experience of this, what you're going through. We're all going through different stages and different levels and different problems. And yet, we can have two of us with exactly the same diagnosis, exactly the same prognosis, exactly the same pain levels. And one could be better than the other just by the way they're thinking about it. One will have a better experience. And it's no coincidence that I'm going to end with some really good news, because I got my PSA result on Friday, and it dropped back down to 0.01. Now, as they were reading out the numbers, I'm going 0, 0. And it was just amazing that when it went to 1, it was brilliant. I wanted to ring the bell. I felt healed. And miraculously, all the feelings of pain went away. I didn't have any pain. Put the 2 and 2 together and you get this outcome. You know, bad thoughts, bad feelings equals a bad experience. That's what I wanted to say. I hope it makes sense. I really do. If you are on this journey, you've got this ally in the way you think. If you think about things differently, you can change everything. And use it. Be aware of your thoughts, because they are truly the things that are dictating what's going on. And if you don't like your thoughts, you don't like the way things are, start changing them, because that's the answer. It doesn't change your cancer, or at least it could do, but what it changes is the experience of how you're dealing with it, and that changes everything. That's when you start changing. That's when you got the power, I believe, to heal. Anyway, I'm off. It's getting a bit dark. The lights come on. I don't know how this video is going to look, but until the next time, please keep yourself positive, and I'll see you again in a week. Okay, bye.